either roll a d3 or wait for one of you to volunteer.
But I need to update my token.
All right.
How exactly do I download this thing?
God damn it! I'll do it again for the third week in a row.
It's
Last
fine,
time,
I'll take over soon.
last time on Tears of Tiamat, we decided to investigate the ruined village that was ruined under mysterious circumstances, and we wanted to know what was up with that, because we thought that the only people who could ruin a village was us. So we poked around, and we found the big dragon who had snuck up on us and forced us to go underground. So we went underground into the cathedral to smoke out the humans who was down there, and we thought maybe we can work together with them and form some sort of relationship, and maybe everyone will be happy. But they were very haughty, and they didn't like us very much, and we are dragons, so we're quick to anger, and when they sort of lied to us a little bit, or like deceived us into taking care of their like dirty work for them, and not even giving us a way out, a proper way out, we kind of had it and killed them off. So there's a lot of battles, and then we crawled out and got some of the loot, crawled out, and went up into the square, the town square, where we saw Tandalin, the derpy brass dragon, who was like, "Oh, hello, friends, derp." And we were like, "Shh, don't tell anyone that we were here." And it's like, "Oh, I think you really should talk to the dragons." We were like, no. We kind of just want to be left alone. Goodbye. And then we left, and we're like, "Don't tell anyone." It's like, "Oh, of course I won't." And then like an hour later, the red dragon contacted us. It's like, "Tandalin told me." And we're like, "Oh, fuck." And basically he said, "You will come here now this very instant. I will not kill you, I think. I promise." And you know, red dragons keep their promises. We know this. But we've basically been called out by the red dragon, and we don't have much of a choice but to go and see him. And that's what we're going to do this session, I think.
Yeah, since we had our last session, 4 days in-game time have passed, and in those 4 days, the storm season has certainly lived up to its name. There were rain and thunderstorms basically daily, and the howling winds have only subsided for short whiles, making way for ominous silences broken by occasional distant thunderclaps. The damp weather even manages to seep into basically the entire cave, turning the dirt floors of the areas near the 2 exit into muddy messes. Avendra is really displeased by the weather, with Vincent having been sent away to investigate, and the weather making it impossible to practice shooting a bow outside. She has spent most of her time in the kobold's main chamber, shooting her blunted arrows at the remains of the cave's last owner, as well as Skrivix whenever he comes into view. Skrivix has eventually approached you not to complain about Avendra, but rather to proclaim that your new chamber has been dug out and is ready for your inspection. He has even instructed the construction of a support column for the high ceiling, unnecessary as he thinks it is, because he knows that Terexus likes them so much, and he would do anything to please the masters. Avolix does not seem to be present.
I'm gonna kill that fucker. I'm gonna find him, drag him into a corner, and beat him senseless.
But he made you a support column.
I'm gonna fucking end him.
It's like a scratching post.
Skrivix!
Also, my pond is getting a little small at this point. Also, now, you know.
Let me do one more sentence. Avolix is not here. You remember him briefly speaking to Skrivix the day before, but now he is nowhere to be seen. And so we start on the, I believe, 19th of Nef, with slightly more than a month to go until the day of midwinter.
Well, I suppose we inspect the room.
I can certainly do so, and you can just drag your tokens over. And when you do, you certainly see exactly what you instructed them to dig. A large chamber with 5 distinct areas, a rather high ceiling, compared to the rest of the cave anyways, And in its center, a, well, thing that might be supposed to be a support column, but it's really not supporting anything.
It's gotten so snowy outside. Where is the girl? Where is she?
She is in the main chamber to the north.
Oh, okay. And she was not behaving?
Well, that's for you to interpret.
What was she doing?
She is practicing her bow by shooting at the remains of the last Kobold King.
Oh, that's fine. That's a good girl. Keep up the work. Shoot our enemies. That's how you win favors.
There are still the occasional kobold digging at small niches, making them look nice. They scurry out of the way when you approach. The cave itself is not really, well, fancy or anything. It is a large cave that you may use for whatever purpose you desire, really. And of course, decorate accordingly.
Yes. This shall be decorated at some point.
I mean, we can start by moving the gold in there.
Yes, all the gold.
All the treasure in there, in the middle, around the pillar. You can't actually touch it because you're wrong layer, but
Touch the treasure.
we need that treasure in there, or I'm not going to feel safe.
We have a lot of treasure.
Yeah. So who wants what corner?
That is a good question.
I mean, I obviously like this one over here because it had room for a pond. So there.
I mean, I guess I can. I don't like the water and the cold, so if Arvonox is next to you, maybe.
I think he'll be down here, I imagine. Or maybe here by the door, because I don't want him to freeze my water. It's going to get bitterly cold anyway, so...
It can be in this corner.
Yeah, I guess. Would Inox then like to be there?
Sure, that's fine.
You know, plants, I guess. And then we have... the last one for there. Why did we have 5 of these again?
I think the girl would.
Oh yeah, but I think we were cutting out other room for her here.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just
Oh,
a
yeah,
bonus.
This one's gonna have like a road down, isn't it?
Oh,
You were
maybe.
planning to have this, I can't point, this area as kind of a food storage,
Oh yeah.
and you wanted an extra cave for her.
Oh yeah, it's
You
gonna
did
get
want
out.
to have a chamber with 5 corners. That's what you
Yes,
instructed the
yes.
kobolds to dig, and they did.
Of course we do. Don't question us, kobolds. Here, this one is going to be the girl's chamber. It's going to go out like so and have like a thing there. And he's going to be really uncomfortable there in that little tiny one. But you know that's what he gets for not showing up to the picking of your bunk, basically.
If asked, does Scrivix know where he went?
Scrivix will... Oh, I can do that properly. Well,
Don't lie to us.
he told me to only tell you that he's out on a hunting trip, which I would not judge him, but the weather is pretty severe, but he didn't seem to care.
Traxxas snorts. An obvious lie on his part.
I would not question him.
Good. Well,
Maybe he's gone to the dragon to tell us, but no, he wouldn't trust the dragon either.
yeah. Seems unlikely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he would go. And why. Maybe he's tracked something down that he wants to have
Well,
tracked
to some
down?
degree, I suppose that is his business.
Sure.
If he's back, then so be it. If not, then, well, there's not much we can really do about that. He left, and he obviously didn't want to be followed, so...
Seemingly so, yes.
I think he would have made it a little easier if he wanted us to follow him. I would have. I would just ask you to in the first place.
I'm sure he can take care of himself.
Exactly. I think he's actually almost the best one at that.
I really wish there was a way to get my map tools to have more room to operate with.
What do you mean, more room?
Whenever I try to it often comes up saying out of memory error.
Oh yeah, I still haven't figured out how to fix that.
And, I often click on the thing that resets it, but it gets filled up before it's even done. I just think we should give Jonas the fault because he wants so many question marks.
What? Question marks?
I can't see the picture yet because
It's
gold.
treasures.
no, I don't think there's room for the gold.
It's
We love
fine.
gold.
You just kill a few
I
more
don't think you
kobolds.
have this much gold.
We have a lot of gold.
Now the gold is on top of the chest.
We have like tens of gold.
You need to fix that.
I have tens of gold.
You need to fix that.
I'm fixing it. It just takes a while.
See what?
The gold is on top of the chest.
The cool thing here is that we can all see each other in our own rooms. We still kind of have separate rooms,
Right.
Not fully moved out yet, but it's like
Sheep
living
needs
in the
to-
garage.
Sheep needs to move it in the proper layers. I can't send it to the background otherwise, or it can be sent to the background.
Alright, there.
I can turn the chest around as well, so it faces downwards now.
You know what? I haven't been using my gold either, except for an elixir of swimming. So
Yeah. None of us have really spent a lot of money because what are we going to spend it on?
Yeah.
Ropes of
Yeah.
twine?
Yeah.
And who
Yeah.
would do that?
Yeah.
there are some. Whoa!
Who would
whoa,
do
whoa.
that?
Oh, okay.
Looking
Vincent.
around with a...
Hi, Vincent.
I got scared there.
Well-
Eventually, as you're kind of dragging your stuff into the cave, it seems that Avendra has found Vincent. Will wave at you slightly and indicate that he wants to talk somewhere private.
Oh. But first, I suppose we should give her her room too, right?
Sure.
Some kobolds will be digging it recently, Avendra, but we have made you a new room. It's a little further from the door, a little safer, a little less cold in the winter.
Oh yes, it's really wet there too. It's not as wet here.
Over here, this cove is to be yours. You can move your things in here as you please.
She inspects the cove with a kind of look of someone who is thinking about furniture choices. It will do so for quite a while as Vincent is
Sure.
waiting for you in the hallway.
Take your time. And good work on the bow shots. Here you're getting better.
Oh yes, I've hit Scrivex 3 times now.
Impressive.
Vincent looks at each of you approaching. Well then, it looks like you're certainly expanding here.
Yes, indeed.
And
Pretty, isn't it?
quite the pile you have over there. I am impressed, I have to say. But that's not exactly what I'm here. I mean, you did send me to see if I can figure out some things, and oh boy, did I. First of all, there was, of course, the rumor I had about that Pile's Tower being slightly more than that, because, well, first of all, it's far older than, well, the time he has been there, and it's certainly dwarven make, and it's certainly in a somewhat odd position, and, well, apart from finding out that it is really as old as I thought it was, I didn't figure out much. However, there might be someone who knows a bit more. There's a book merchant by the name of Eldwick, who lives down in Melfish. I could organize a meeting with you. I would try to talk to him myself, but I've had some, well, we've had some experience with each other and it didn't turn out so great. He is used to doing the occasional shady business, so I could probably get him to meet you out of town if you want to. Well, not bother with the whole having to hide yourself and things. You showing yourself would certainly be, well, impressive enough to get him to talk about things he wouldn't like to talk about otherwise, I'd imagine. But that's not the most impressive discovery I've made, although impressive might not be quite the right word. It was a good idea to get Finian involved, whether through dumb luck or sniffing magic or some such, whatever he can do. He did find something I really didn't think possible before. He found a big, for the lack of better word, summoning circle in a glade at the southwest end of this part of the Ashwood. Ancient thing, must have been there for many years. Not something Piley could have built, I don't think, but There was also a wooden structure in its center, acting as a big lightning rod. It is something I know Piley has been experimenting with. But the thing that surprised me most about that particular find is that the lady didn't know. Piley must have been there to set that up, in the Ashwood, and she didn't know. It is very peculiar. She has no influence over that particular area, and it is not something I've thought possible. It is worth investigating, I think. I couldn't really myself, because I'm pretty sure that, whether intentional or coincidental, the place has certain guardians that I will need your help taking care of, if you are so gracious. I did find one more of those lightning rod things east of the forest as well, outside of it, but it was not in the center of a big circle. Instead, this one seemed to redirect the lightning it caught towards the forest as some sort of lightning gun. Looks impressive from a distance, but it's hardly a big threat to the lady. A few lightning strikes won't bring down the forest, not in this weather, so I'm questioning its purpose, really. Again, I didn't want to approach too closely as... yeah. It's best for you to take a look yourselves, I think. To rephrase my, perhaps, inadequate request, I'd like to ask for your help in these things. I find myself more and more unable to do the things I feel I'm supposed to do for the lady. I'm good at finding out things, but at removing threats, not so much.
Well, the lady receives and she gives, yes?
Yes, she does.
I see no issue with this, and if we can lure Piley there, that'd be a great place to ambush him.
The place, the glade with the big circle, looked, well, it looked old. The circle itself, years old at least, and the structure must have been there for weeks. It is unlikely that he'll come back, I think.
Well, we'll certainly break it then.
That seems prudent, however. Why would he leave that there? I suppose he didn't have a choice, really. He couldn't really have put many guards, but if his entire plan really hinges on us not finding that big thing, then that certainly failed. I would be very happy if that indeed broke all his plans, but chances are that we're too late in that regard. It will, however, give us an opportunity to perhaps find out more.
Perhaps. And this book merchant?
Yes, Eldwick. He is a peculiar fellow.
He would simply tell us what he knows out of his good heart?
Probably not, but presented with yourselves.
Squeeze him, of course. I doubt an old bookkeeper could stand up against us.
I do not think you have to physically threaten him. It may even be good to, well, convince him to be useful to you, because he can be rather useful. I mentioned shady business. Before this whole book merchant thing, he did make his money in forgeries and other things. Could be a useful person for whatever it is you desire.
Yeah, I'm sure he is reasonable. And if he is reasonable, there will be no need for violence.
Conflict. Very well then. Another thing, Vincent, we've recently, at least I have had some trouble with finding the nearby city of Abkin to my satisfaction, as its markets are rather limited. Perhaps you would be able to go buy things in Kermaga at some point.
Camara is a place I would like to avoid. If you are looking for a bigger market, I would personally travel to Corvosa because I've been there before. I know my way around, but currently I can't really leave the lady too much. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Once this whole ordeal is over, however, I would be more than happy to assist you in whatever purchases you need. Camara is close, yes, but it is not necessarily the safest, to say the least.
I wouldn't know. Well then, which of these things do we do first? Seems like the forest would be the easiest one, although meeting the merchant certainly shouldn't be much of a problem either.
We have another meeting we need to attend to first, I think. We have put it off long enough.
I suppose.
Not that I want to intrude on your plans, but who are you talking about?
Awkward looks all around.
Just a glare at him.
I will leave you to do your plans on your own then.
I'm sure we'll be back soon.
Of course.
One way or another.
We need to install a tavern in the caverns.
What? What are we going to do at a tavern?
So Vincent can hang out.
Hang out? Oh, yeah. Vincent, if we were to have a tavern, or a dancing place, or another place where the lesser humans like to spend their time, how would you want that made?
He raises an eyebrow. You want to make a tavern or a dancing place here?
Whatever you prefer to call them.
This does not seem to be the best place to attract customers now, does it?
Well, you are here.
I would be hard-pressed to finance an entire tavern or dancing place.
We could have a kobold making drinks. You would have an apron.
If you just want to give me a place to stay, then I would not say no, but a tavern seems rather excessive.
What sort of place would you like then?
Something dry, something to sit on. I don't know. I can't promise anything. I do travel around a lot, mostly in the forest, but he shrugs. If you want me to stay close to you, you just have to say so.
You should add it to the list of things then. A place for Vincent to stay.
Traxos grunts.
Maybe by the old room? Like on that Outstrider from that wall? You know?
Sure.
I think that room's going to be full of traps now, though, so don't use that one anymore.
There's going to be a lot of traps in that room.
Lots of traps, like so many traps.
Not sure we can, like, we're going to be a corner with a cot he can sleep on and like a barrel of beer, you know?
Maybe a thing he can sit on as well.
Oh, okay, sure.
A barrel of beer.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think that we should go and talk to the Red Dragon first, because he seems very insistent.
Maybe his quest is in the same area anyway.
Maybe. But then we need to definitely take a talk to this book guy and then investigate the forest. Not necessarily in that order. Yeah, with that, away!
Sure. Although before you leave, Vincent would like to talk to Tyrexus really quickly.
Sure, that can be done.
Oh,
gesturing.
He wants some blue face paint, does he now? Picking favorites.
Buttering the bread, as it were.
I will send you a message on Skype.
Sure. We see Vincent whisper things. T-Rex is being like, yes.
Avendra would be close enough to hear, but she is completely lost in thought, trying to think of the best arrangement for all her stuff.
Also be like speaking Draconic or something, I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of text. I'll take a look later.
It's not immediately important.
Yep.
But you want to travel back to Serafu, you can certainly do so. It will be a slightly longer trip than last time because the weather has certainly picked up. Flying is not a trivial thing anymore, even low to the ground. It would take you a day to get there, basically. But that shouldn't be a big of a problem as you have no immediate time schedule. Copy your tokens.
All right.
Done.
Yep.
Let's make this map visible.
Hopefully we're not making this worse than it already is with this guy. But maybe with the gold dragon sort of bossing over him, he can't do too much to us. That's my fervent hope, at least.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he can only enslave us, right? I mean, that's
That'd
all
be-
he'll do.
That'd be pretty bad. That'd be pretty
Well,
bad.
you know, just really excuse yourself why we ran without telling, like,
I
because
really had to go.
It was a very important business, you see.
I had eaten some fish that wasn't quite good.
It didn't agree with me at all.
well, I'm not gonna talk much because social skills is not my thing. If you need to know something, then there I'll be there.
Just don't try to threaten him.
I'm not stupid.
I'll get you.
He's like, what?
Oh, so this was why our little friend left. I get it now. I actually have some very important things to take care of as well.
He just ran away. Huh. Tessa crack rack. There he is. And Tandalin, you derpy motherfucker. Look at you. The most adorable, stupid thing I've ever
I'm
seen.
hiding.
Is he like eating all the cake or like a bucket of ice cream or something there on the floor?
Tina, do you want to paste your token as well?
Chicken, probably.
Probably.
I'm not done yet. I'm missing
Or maybe
one.
he's a vegan.
Oh, I'm almost there.
It's like a good dragon kind of thing to be.
Maybe.
Especially one of the brass ones.
Tandalin is not currently trying to hide. Takes him a while to spot you approaching, but when he does, he kind of waves at you.
Oh, Tandalin.
You do see the tail of what must undoubtedly be Fesekarak kind of going around the corner, but he, however, has not noticed you yet.
I guess we can still run away. It's not too late for that.
And then
Well.
what?
Run away,
So
screaming.
do we put on the mage armor first, or
the mage armor? I don't think we're gonna fight.
no? You don't think so?
No, I think
You
if
don't think we're
there's,
gonna kill Tandalin?
we could probably take Tandalin. Honestly, it's just
I mean, we're probably gonna be told to, right?
what?
If we're
No,
better apprentices,
I really hope not.
there'll only be one Sith apprentice.
If that's the case, we run down underneath again, and then we crawl up the fountain, and then we run away and never come
But
back.
I thought there was always two.
Well, then Tandalin's gonna tell on us where the fountain is, because he wants to be the one, so he can learn how to fight.
Oh, Tandalin, you stupid! Can we beat him
To fight,
senseless
you have
first?
to learn how to kill all your friends.
I'm just gonna go slaughter those younglings.
That's right.
Regardless, Inevox, you're not here still.
I wish, but I'm missing one.
Oh, this is probably the huge, like the entire map, basically.
Let me see if I can speed things up.
Delete the entire map.
this should be the one I need to delete. Also, why is the dungeon still revealed? That shouldn't be here. Did that do anything
What? I don't know.
for Tina?
I'm still missing one.
It'll get there. You can open the transfer window if you want. In window and show transfer window, and then you can see how far it's come.
Oh, this is some good
Window.
stuff, sheep.
Um,
This will be great later. Yes.
it says none.
Oh. Is it just black for you? Or...
Yeah.
So it has loaded now?
No. Want me to disconnect and connect?
You can try.
I can
Why is-
try. I can just delete the dungeon. That should make it slower to
No, I'll
faster
just.
to load.
Well, why does it go down there again?
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping it. But it doesn't work if Tina can't load.
Oh.
I'm.
But her computer's plenty powerful.
Yeah, well, but it keeps asking for more room. But you
I
know,
mean, how much RAM does it actually have?
I think you can only start with like slightly over 1,000 now.
I have like 2 gigs on my map tool. Works pretty well.
should I do that?
Good try. I'm using 1500 on this map currently.
Or using 700.
Well, it did only show
I guess I'm
around
zoomed out,
400 or
that's probably it.
something. But I'm sorry.
If I zoom out, yeah, no, that actually makes it less. If I zoom very far in, maybe.
I clicked it now and then it dumped like a gig. So
Well, it's weird because it did fall down to 400 or something. So, damn it, Windows 10. I don't know where anything is.
It's a Windows 10 thing, the thing you limit to how much power you can give it.
I don't know what docs is. That's how terrible it is. No.
So what are you going to say to the dragon?
You know what? I'll just launch again because I don't know where the document thing is.
I think chat is giving you valuable advice here. You just need to be immune to fire, slashing, blunt, and piercing.
done. Gonna
And
And
spell
magic.
resistant. Yeah, and magic.
I need a golem
Okay.
armor, basically.
Here we go.
Golem art doesn't really do that much, actually. It's a very disappointing thing.
Oh, now I'm not copied anymore.
It looks and sounds really cool, but it's not that good.
No.
Really not.
Do you want me to go back and get my token?
Yes, please.
Remind me quickly how I calculated my DC for my breath weapon.
Half level plus con modifier plus 10.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Con mod. Okay, what's my con mod? Quickly, it's +4, I think.
It says 4 on your macro.
All right, there we go. Yep. Oh, this might not be properly updated to Raxos. Actually, let me see if I saved my. You.
No, to make things quicker here, you can probably worry about making sure your tokens are correct if you actually fight something.
Yeah.
I had an old one out. This is the new one. This is the correct one. There we go.
Are you here as well, Tina?
No. I'm trying to get my token on the other map, but now I'm stuck there at 98 out of 101. I'm
Maybe
sorry,
I can get your token for you.
Okay.
Do we theoretically need the tokens here? If we
They help.
If we're seemingly gonna speak.
Now I can't. Now I went back to the other map, but it's all black. I can see the tokens and some tree. No, that's
You
a stone.
can't see the background map again.
No.
That's a bother. I apologize, but I can't really test for these things.
Oh. Keeps.
But yeah, since there's at least going to be some speaking, we can do that first while you try to figure out things.
Yeah.
Well, you see the cathedral in the same way that you've seen it before. Glorious, but rampaged through, essentially, with burn marks on the carpets, the walls, the floor, and signs of just vandalism, really. Tenderlin is sitting in its middle, waving at you ferociously, grinning slightly.
Stupid fucking dragon.
Whereas Vesekarak, the big red dragon, has not yet noticed you, his tail around the corner a bit.
So, you know what? Einavox sneak up and bite his tail.
I want to confirm on it.
And he gets nauseated. Well, I guess we...
I don't agree with that plan.
No.
No.
Would be funny. Well, let's walk in.
Not for me.
Let's meet our destiny.
The tail slithers around the corner as the big red dragon turns around to meet you. His expression somewhat unreadable, but at least there's not rampant anger on there. As he looks at you expectantly, sitting down, waiting for the others.
Director sits down also, sort of anxiously takes a look over his shoulder.
Well, I know X would follow.
Okay.
She's no coward.
He looks at each of you for a moment with his piercing gaze. His rumbling voice then starts up. Such a swift completion of my task, and yet you have decided to run away rather than face me again. I have decided to take your fear as a compliment.
Tyraxus looks at him and says, "The task was trifling, mighty one, and we didn't want you to... Oh, and we didn't want to bother you. With such a small thing."
More annoyance from the dungeons could as well mean us.
Could you repeat that, Malachi?
We were told to stop whatever annoyed you from the dungeon. That might as well be us. As such, we made our way scarce, in a way, trying as it was, to not bother you.
He nods at that and then slowly turns towards Tenderlin. Says, "Tenderlin, leave us." The brass dragon looks slightly taken, surprised by that command, and then will quickly scurry out.
He's a large dragon, how does he scurry?
He manages to scurry.
I just imagine a sad dog that's been told.
Yeah, but the dog is like the size of a huge horse. Oh well.
The Sekarak's gaze follows Tenderlin as he walks out the door, and even further as he eventually then turns back to you. By now you should have realized Tenderlin's purpose. He is a spy sent to me by Orestrix, even if Tenderlin might not realize the fact.
Would make him the best spy, wouldn't it?
That does not make it any less obvious what his purpose is, but yet I cannot do anything against him. Besides, well, it does not matter. I just wanted to have him gone for this talk.
Don't come closer. I get nervous when he comes closer.
He does not seem to directly walk towards you, but rather just move out for the sake of moving. So he then looks away, almost lost in thought. Says, "It is a good thing that you are so young. Sunta would not consider you useful, which means I do not have to drag you to kneel before her. Neither would she consider you a threat. No, you do not have the power to oppose her directly, and you are unlikely to ally with such as the Shuanti. English is hard, sorry. They themselves are unaware of their combined strength. The Sun Clan is firmly in her grasp, she thinks. The Moon Clan is unlikely to be able to pay the meager tribute I will have to ask of them after the midsummer feast, splintered as they are and without proper leaders. And I will soon be tasked to no longer just watch, but act. The Skull Clan, cooped up in their fortress in the middle of Sunta's court, are not succumbing to her siege, but they cannot last. The Hawk, Wind, and Axe Clan are too distant to care. The Spire Clan is content to watch from a distance, not knowing that once the Moon Clan is gone, they will be Sunta's next source of income." He pauses for a significant moment, turns back towards you. "You likely think yourselves powerless, and you may be right in many regards. Perhaps you will once again flee, far from here this time, unaware that some things cannot be ran from. Perhaps you will hide, wait, and grow, only to then realize that the time to oppose her has passed. I wouldn't know. It is good that you have come back to talk to me. I do not mean to bore you. All I meant to say was, you may leave now."
Directus blinks and says, "A question, Great One, if you would indulge me.
He looks at you.
Why are the great dragons bowing before Sunta?"
Not all of the dragons are. The metallic ones are convinced by Orestrix that her purpose is true, while the metallic ones are convinced by me, not that her purpose is true, but rather that they have little choice.
And why do we have so little choice in this, Great One? What is it that she does that is so important to our kind, that we would suffer following her lead?
I cannot tell you. He grits his teeth as he says these words.
Yeah. Some sort of command not to.
Is it that you are unable to, or that you do not wish to, Mighty One?
I cannot tell you.
I see.
I guess that someone has put a Gaius on him.
Mm-hmm. He's been forced to not tell anyone but the fucking orb that she has.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what is it that you would desire from us, if anything?
There's nothing I would desire of you that you should not desire yourselves. I cannot give you advice. I cannot command you. I am unlikely to force you to succeed in these things. Even speaking of the situation is coming close to my limits. One thing, however, I can definitely tell you. Tenderlin knows that you are here. He is unlikely to return anytime soon, perhaps in a few weeks. But once he does, he is reliable in only one thing, and that is that he will talk. I could not stop him myself. I cannot lay a claw on him if I wanted to.
We could.
He smiles, a mischievous smile, which looks rather terrifying with his giant teeth. You could. I could never ask such a thing of you, of course.
Of course. He does seem to do what you ask him to, though.
He does, yes.
Looks to the other two.
T-Rexus looks contemplative.
If he went home, that might be something we do not want.
Perhaps. What would be the most likely outcome of such a scenario? Looks to the others. Glasses to the red. He would tell of our presence, and then what?
Likely nothing would happen for a time. Until then, I would be at your doorstep with instructions.
And the instructions would be to come with you to bow down before before this Sunta.
He nods.
That seems bad.
You could perhaps ask him to go somewhere where he would be, well, not at his best, and then maybe the problem would solve itself.
There's a lot of storms going on.
We have been flying in these storms as his training. It would not work. I cannot send him anywhere that would obviously be lethal to him. However, I could send him somewhere where you would be undisturbed.
The forest, perhaps.
He could flee. He is quite faster than us, I believe.
Would he, though?
I have before considered sending him to fight one of the wild beasts living in the cliff's many caves. He would not have to know that those beasts might be creatures he knows.
You could send him to fight one of the other beasts, and we could go with him to help him.
Perhaps.
We can call it training. He would be sent to spar with us, and then he is knocked unconscious, never to awake.
I mean, maybe never to awake. Who knows what would happen? On the other hand, perhaps it's not worth it.
Director shrugs. I don't know. I don't know what it means to be forced before this Empress.
Sounds unpleasant, but
He looks at the
short time
rampage.
could be a very long time, yes?
I do not wish to become a slave.
Oh. But she can't be that bad if big gold dragon's following her. Says sarcastically.
Thraxos snorts. Goals are sanctimonious and preach it to a fault, I believe.
Regardless, we will think about things, and then maybe find an answer sometime.
He nods.
It is not a fight I would relish. He has his own charm.
No, I agree. But we might have to do what is necessary to preserve our autonomy.
We also have a problem with a wizard living close by who's been hunting our kind.
Yes. Yes, he must be dealt with. If nothing else, but for vengeance.
Indeed. Would you happen to know anything about him?
I am not aware of any wizards living close by.
Well, all right then. I suppose that is a good and a bad thing.
Besides, I could not help you in this. I have been commanded to stay out of sight.
Bakax bites his tongue. Bows and says, "Then, if you wish to see us again, you might summon us, mighty one."
Thraxos nods. Yes, it worked very well last time.
Keep in mind that the Cinderlands are currently a battlefield with two sides. Sunta's side and everyone else. Everyone else is splintered, spread apart, but they are missing leadership, nothing else. Now leave.
Of course. Bakax understands what he is asking Bakax to do.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear to me.
Copy
And who
the
else,
tokens.
really?
As I'm assuming you return.
Mm-hmm.
You would let the others have a place in the palace, of course.
Well, it's time to unite the clans.
Travel east.
Yes. The forgotten lands of Kalimdor.
We're going back.
Yep.
Yep. Well,
I suppose so. So, forest circle or book merchant.
let's see here. What the book merchant knew about the ancient ruin underneath his tower, and he is also a shady guy that we could probably use for a lot of
Things,
shady
yeah.
stuff. Seems like a good contact to have.
There's also the third option of investigating the strange wooden construction that is currently standing east of the forest. Which Vincent mentioned, but that might have been lost.
We could go to that one first. It seems like that would channel lightning into the other one, right? I mean, that seems like the purpose of it.
Maybe.
So go in and check that out, then go to the other one, and then to the merchant. But I think thinking sort of metagame, Dark's character is not one for talking a lot. So getting the talking done while he's not here makes sense.
Sure.
Sure.
Seems
And then when
reasonable to
he's
me.
here next week, probably, then he'll be able to have some action, more action. Could of course be wrong, and this guy could be like waiting there with like nets and try to kill us all. So, but that's what we have to work with.
Let's start with the book guy and see where it takes us.
All right. My token copied, but I assume, go to another. Well, you can
Yeah,
arrange it. I'll be right back.
you can go back home if you want to. Otherwise, Vincent would ask you how you want him to arrange the meeting. Where would you like to meet him?
Where was the book guy living?
The book guy, if you go to the overview map, is living in Melfesh, which is southwest of Epkin. It is some distance away, even using the forest as a what's the word? Shortcut. It would take 2 days to travel down there.
Well, can he be convinced to meet us outside?
Vincent thinks that he could probably convince the book guy to meet you anywhere you want, as long as it's close to Melfish.
Yeah, like in a area with hills or something that's not readily, well, basically places where we could sort of hide a little bit and not be visible from the town itself. And maybe imply that we are there to talk lucrative business. That should probably get him out there, because I'm imagining he likes money.
Oh, he does, yes. Arranging that meeting will take Vincent 2 days. However, he can arrange the meeting for basically that evening. So in 2 days you could meet the merchant.
Alright. Sounds pretty good. How far away were the other things we could possibly investigate?
On the overview map, the thing that Finian found is right here. In this area near the river, while the other thing that Vincent found is right here.
And Finian found the...
Finian found the circle in a glade.
Well, I guess we could go to this strange construction and take a look. It's on the way to Malfish. That would kind of make sense, I guess.
You could do that. In the 2 days that it takes you to travel down, you could basically visit both things.
Alright.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yep, sounds like a good idea.
Where are we meeting him?
Outside the town, like in a
Okay.
area with hills and stuff. We can creep around in a bit.
He should come alone.
Yes. It's would a lucrative business proposition.
He is used to that kind of business. He hasn't done any of the sort, as far as Vincent knows, in the recent times, but he has certainly done so in the
Have
past.
some books we want on old dwarven holes. Yes.
What?
And also the latest in the 50 Shades of Dragon series.
That's true. The next one. I heard there's gonna be 3 books.
The second one is the Dark Middle chapter.
Yeah.
Right, let's go to Strange Construction first.
Okay, Vincent will accompany for this.
Oh.
Accompany you for this, as he knows where it is, so he'll show you.
That makes sense.
Oh, nice.
Avendra, try not to make Skrivix too angry. He has lots of work to do, and well,
Yes, I told him I need at least 5 shelves. So that will take a while, I think.
all right.
Kobold made shelves is going to be great.
And she's learning to buzz around. You know, we need our. Yeah. You know, some point you might become a decent archer. In a few years' time. As long as he keeps working hard.
Alright, let's go to the Ashwood map. Vincent will lead you expertly through the forest, again taking a road that makes no sense to anyone except Einavox, but apparently it gets you where you want to go very quickly. So it is currently about noon on your second day of traveling. 。 .
。 . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
'
And after a bit of traveling through the forest, Vincent will instruct you to basically keep your head down and sneak forward. As you can see from quite the